Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Blood and Iron tier list. Uh, I know this is a really out of the blue, like, thing for me to do a tier list on my channel out of, anything I could do, but honestly, I was watching Zermington and Skit Gaming, and when I saw their tier list, I did not really agree with most of what they said. So I came here to express my personal opinions and thoughts and maybe provide a few tips as well. So, yeah, let's get right into it. So, first off, we're going to start with the artillery. Artillery can be pretty useful, but in most situations, people are smart enough to just, get out of the way. Most cavalry try to flank them and get behind them and kill them anyway, but I have seen them been useful, especially in very open maps like Farmstead. Now, yes, most artillery maps are very open, but some of them just don't give a good opportunity for them. So I'm going to put them at B tier. They're not awful, but they're not great. One tip I would definitely suggest for artillery players is definitely be more vigilant, be aware of your surroundings. This is a big problem with them that I've noticed. Next is the Buggle. Honestly, I don't really like them. I'm gonna be ranking the musicians in terms of music because they all provide the same buff, which is reload buff. And yeah, they basically just make your guns reload faster. I don't really like the Buggle. They're really annoying. However, from what I have seen from most Buggles is that they actually will fight, which is nice. Most of them just tend to get in a band or team or do nothing. So yeah, I do like Buggles because of how they play, but I don't like Buggles because of their music. So I'm gonna put them at C tier. Next is a highly regarded or like mid tier class for most people who rank tier listen for this. They usually put it at B or C, but honestly, I think it's a D tier. I have never once seen a color bearer actually be useful or anyone use them to their full potential. And they can't have a two buff stack. So meaning you can have two color bearers and their buffs will stack. Any more than that though won't stack. I just have never seen one be useful. They can be useful if used correctly, but I could do without them. They're not super useful. It's such a bad buff in my opinion. Next is the Dragoon, and I'm putting them at D tier. This is just a no questions asked. Most people do this, and I fully agree. This is the one few things I agree with. It's just trash. Like, who actually likes the Musketoon? It's a horrible gun. Like, I it has horrible accuracy. The bullet speed I've noticed is actually slower than most other guns. The only upside to it is that it reloads faster. And that's it. It's just bad. Also, the horse is slow. So unless you steal a hussar horse, it's really, really bad. And most of the time, I'm able to just shoot them off their horses. So I would never recommend playing as this class. They're actually worse than the color bearer. Next is drums. These guys actually sound pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. They're just like the Buggle, they give reload buff, but honestly, I'm gonna put them at A tier simply because I just like drums. I personally have played percussion before, it's pretty easy. Well, not really, actually, I'm lying, but it's fun, probably more fun, in my opinion, than playing a flute or playing a trumpet or whatever. That's just my personal opinion. You could like playing the fife or bugle more. This is just my personal opinion. They sound better. Next, the fifer. I am conflicted with this one. I'm tempted to put them at C or B. I'm not putting them at A because they sound so annoying. Like, I think Austria, no, not Austria, Prussia and French have like the only good Pfeiffer songs. Past that, all the other Pfeiffer songs are pretty annoying, loud, obnoxious, can definitely, get you spotted. Yeah, I just don't like them. I'm gonna put the B tier. A for drummer, B for Pfeiffer, C for Bugle. All right, next up we got the Hussar. And personally, I don't play cavalry because from my experiences cavalry, I get shot off my horse pretty easily, or someone with a musket just stabs my horse or stabs me off my horse. So it's just not that fun for me to play cavalry. But for people who do play cavalry, I would put cavalry at A. Not an S, not a B. It's pretty good. Hussar is the good standard, so yeah. Next is Lancer. I am conflicted if I should put them in S tier, simply because if a Lancer takes a Hussar's horse, then they can one-shot people. Now, I don't know if this has actually been patched in the mobile update or anything, because I haven't tried this yet, but as of back then, at least I'm going to say, just in case, I would say the Lancer is probably better than the Hussar only for that reason. But you have to have a friend or someone who's willing to give you that Hussar horse. So I'm gonna put them at probably the top of A tier. They're not an S, but they're not a B. They're really good. All right. Next, this is going to get slightly controversial. The light infantry. No, I'm not putting them at D or C, so don't worry. They're definitely pretty good. I'm not putting them in S. They, like, I just can't explain it to you. Like, it's so overrated. It's not, it's definitely better than the Lance, obviously, and all of them, but they're just not better than the line infantry or the rifle, and I guess kind of the sapper, but not really. The reason why I personally think it deserves A tier is because people overuse it, and also because it doesn't have a bayonet. I'll get into the reason why I think bayonet is better with a musket class next, but basically all you really need to know is I just don't personally like them. They have I think it's a point 0.5 or 1 second faster reload speed without a reload buff than the musket. And they do walk slightly faster, but it doesn't really make a difference most of the time. And I personally just don't understand it. Now, I think they do actually have better accuracy than the musket, but personally, I don't really see it. Like I've never really experienced the difference myself. Now, for pro players out there, I'm sure you definitely have, but I just don't. I'm probably gonna try light infantry after this video. Now that I got a better computer, so we'll find that out. Musket S tier. So I said I was gonna get into the bayonet thing. So I explained most of the reasons why I think the musket is better than the light infantry already, but the musket has a bayonet. That's like the main point, literally, with the musket. Uh, Basically, I think it's personally the best melee weapon in the game. People would argue and say the sapper's axe or the hammer or the branch is better, but I just don't see it. I don't. The bayonet is very superior, mostly because when you carry it, it doesn't slow you down like the axe or the hammer or the branch would. It it has a very long reach. Ah, jeez. Uh, and it's a 3-hit kill, just like the sword. But simply just because of that long reach and a good swing speed, well, more the stab speed. I just musket is better. It just is, and it has basically the same thing the light infantry has, but with a bayonet. That's like the only difference I've seen. Next is the officer. Most people put him at C tier or D tier simply because their pistols suck at long range, but I'm definitely going to put them in B tier above the Viper, obviously, but not above the artillery because the artillery can also be an officer. So, you know, but that's besides the point. The officer has a pistol and a sword and a spyglass. The spyglass is probably the most useless thing they have, but I guess it's nice if you want to see your enemies in high quality for some reason. But the pistol is the main part. I enjoy the officer on very certain maps. On specifically enclosed maps like close quarter combat, like that's mainly the entire point of them. They also give you an accuracy buff, which I don't think is better than the reload buff for musicians, but the accuracy buff is actually very nice for rifles or muskets or whatever. You get the point. Artisans. Ah, I just can't. I hate these guys so much, but I can't put them in D tier, C tier, A tier, or S tier because of one reason. They're random. They're so random. They can give you a pistol and a knife. They can give you a rifle and a sledgehammer. They they can give you anything. Like it's crazy. And there's also some stuff that's limited to their class, like the scythe, the what's it called, the sickle. Even though it's just like a reskin of the knife, basically. It's it's good and bad. It just RNG. I was going to put it in D tier. I was thinking about it, but yeah, it's it's really a 50-50. It's either S or D. Next, oh my god. The pipe man. I hate the pipe man. They they are more obnoxious than the fifer and the bugle. They are so loud and annoying, and half the time they team even more than the fifers do. Like they team way more than the fifers, and it just gets on my nerves. I just hate bands with pipes because it just gets so loud and annoying. Whatever. Next is the rifleman. I am going to put him in A tier, at the bottom of A tier. I'm not putting him in B tier. I'm putting him in A. The reason why I feel the rifle doesn't deserve B is because it has amazing damage, obviously, and accuracy and range. It's, in a way, the light infantry and musket, but better until you look at the cons. First off, is its really bad reload speed. I'm pretty sure the reload speed is 14 seconds. So it's very long, and you are a very easy target, and people are going to want to kill you if they see you. Next off is their melee, which was very heavily nerfed. It went from a 3-hit normal sword, like any other class, to a 4-hit sword. And it's really, really bad. So imagine going up against as a sapper as a rifleman. This guy is running at a rifle. Oh, whoops. Is running at a rifleman. What are you gonna do, right? Um. Well, last but not least is the sapper. I I I'm not sure. It feels like an S tier, but it doesn't feel like an A. I'm going S. I just feel like the sapper deserves some more love. They they're heavily underrated. People just don't understand how to build good bases. A good trick I've used is build a fence. Wait, no, no. Make some large dirt, build a fence, dig the dirt once, put another fence on that, dig the dirt again, and then build another fence, and then you got some pretty good cover. Or you can build some dirt, put a large Chevex on right and left, and put sandbags in the middle. Or you can just put down a large Chevex. And the funny thing is that people don't know that you can shoot through the large Chevex. Some people have legit called me a hacker for shooting through it. So, yeah. That's pretty much the full tier list. You know what? There. You happy? I put the light infantry in S tier. I had to think for a moment. There's barely a difference between these two besides the bayonet. And yeah, they don't have a bayonet, but there's a lot of more pros for them, so but they're not better than the sapper. Sapper's better. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is a ranking of Blood and Iron.
La 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 la.